Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. And today I wanted to talk about finding your signature scent. So before I do that, if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and join our weird and wonderful family. And if you are a regular subscriber, thank you so much for joining once again. Let's get started. When I would go into Sephora, let's say, I would spend all my time in the makeup section. That's my confession. Makeup, I was like totally confident about it. It's like, I got this. But when it came to the fragrance section, I was basically scared to go in there. I felt totally overwhelmed because I didn't know what I was looking for ever. And one of the things that people would say, you know, sales associates would come over and they would say, well, what do you like? And I'd go, I don't know. That was my answer every time because I literally had no idea. So if you are like that, I want to be able to give you a few tips and tricks that might help you find that perfect scent for you. First thing is when a sales associate comes over and says, you know, what scents do you like? Usually they were talking or thinking from a frame of the scent wheel. Now, a scent wheel, similar to the color wheel, has a few main categories and then a bunch of subcategories. But the main categories are woody fragrances, oriental fragrances, fresh fragrances, and florals. Now, you can do like at Sephora, different places online, you know, what are your perfect scents, and they can give recommendations. Well, I found those completely useless. And the reason why is when I smell, like I love smelling forest, like I really enjoy going out into nature and smelling those woody smells. I might even like them on a man, but I don't want to smell them on me. I don't want that to be the smell that I smell like. So that's a problem. When you do one of those tests, the smells that I like out in nature isn't necessarily what I want to smell like. Like for instance, I grew up on a farm. I kind of like the smell of manure, but I don't want to smell like manure ever. So all that to say, I like to think about perfumes from a mood perspective more so. So woody fragrances, to me, they tend to be more grounding, meditative maybe even. They might be, I don't know, they might even be calming. Floral scents, to me, they're more romantic, bright, cheery. Now, the fresh category, it can smell clean, which just makes a person feel secure, or it could be something citrusy, which to me brings lots of energy and, you know, brightness of mood. And then there's your orientals, which to me, they tend to be a little more sexy and sultry. They might be sweeter, they might be spicy, a little bit heavier. That's your orientals. So looking at fragrance families, that can be beneficial just as far as being able to categorize and figure out, oh, okay, this one's citrusy, so it's a fresh. This one's got some fruit in it, must be a floral. This one smells like, you know, the woods, you know, that kind of thing. That can be helpful, especially if you're wanting help in a store. The other thing that you want to consider is that primarily you're going to be looking at two different types of perfume concentrations. There's the eau de parfum, and then there's the eau de toilette. Now the eau de parfum has more perfume oils in it typically than an eau de toilette. The other thing is an eau de toilette doesn't necessarily last as long as an eau de parfum. Oftentimes an eau de toilette is a little less pricey than an eau de parfum. So those are things that you're going to want to consider. In the past, eau de toilettes tended to be just a lighter version of their eau de parfum counterpart. Nowadays, the eau de toilette can smell very different and can take on its own flavors. For instance, I do not like Angel eau de parfum, but I do like the eau de toilette version. So it just depends. So it's worth sniffing both. Now, when choosing your perfect scent, I want to encourage you to make this an adventure. Make it something that's fun. Make it something where you're exploring who you are and learning things about yourself, learning things about the fragrance world. It can be totally fun or it can be overwhelming. And I think the first thing to remember is be patient. You're not going to find that perfect scent or the perfect scents right away. So take your time and enjoy the process. So often in life, especially in today's society, we want to get from point A to point B as fast as we possibly can, but we miss sniffing the roses. So I want to encourage you to take the time to smell, to learn about yourself, and to enjoy the process, enjoy getting to the end destination. Now, as far as, the perfume is concerned and finding your perfect scent, I think that there's two categories of people. There's the signature scent person, and then there's the many scent person. For the longest time, I spent my time trying to find my signature scent to realize that actually, I just really like a lot of different scents, and it depends on my mood. So I figure out which one you are. Some people want to be known for a specific scent. For others, scent ends up being a type of accessory. Depending on their mood, depending on what they're wearing, depending on where they're going, they're going to choose a different scent for that. There's no right or wrong. You just have to decide which person you are. For me, I tend to be a many scent girl. Going back to the patient part, when you go into the store, I want to recommend that you not smell every perfume at once because your nose is just going to get tired out. Typically, they say smell 5 perfumes. After that, they all start to smell the same. Do whatever you want. Like when I first started, I'd go in and I'd smell like 20 at once. So you do, you do what works for you. But when you're narrowing it down, you want to maybe stick with 5 that you're smelling. When you're smelling the perfumes in the store, you're probably spraying them on those little scent cards and waving it around in your face. And that's great to get an initial idea, but don't ever just buy a perfume based on what it smells like on the paper. You need to try it on your skin. A person's pH changes the way a perfume's going to smell. The way it smells on me is not going to be the same as it'll smell on you. So I want to recommend that you spray it on yourself. The other thing that I want to suggest is if you're going to spray a perfume and you're kind of getting more serious about a scent, don't it's fine when you're first trying them out to maybe spray one on this wrist, one on that wrist. But when you're getting down to decision-making time, I want to recommend that you spray on your wrist and on your neck and then leave the store to really get a sense for what that perfume is like. The temptation when buying a perfume is you smell it on the card, you spray it on yourself and you go, oh, I love that, and you go purchase it. The problem is you're not giving that perfume time to develop on your skin. One of the things I love about fragrances is that it's kind of a story. It has those opening notes, then it has what's called a heart or a mid notes, and then it has the base or dry down notes. You want to experience the perfume story. You want to experience that first opening, but you also want to let it sit on your skin, mellow out so that you get to experience all the aspects of that perfume before making a decision. If possible, ask for a sample. It's always worth asking for a sample. Sephora is great for giving samples. The Bay, that's our department store here in Canada. Yes, we only have one real department store, but they're getting better and better at giving samples, and they don't like to tell you this, but they actually do have vials that they can spray all the perfumes in. So even if they don't have the actual sample from the company, they can spray it in those little vials like Sephora. Depends on who you get, whether they're willing to do it. I don't know why, but anyway, just so you know. It's great to try that perfume over several days to really get a sense of whether you like it. Do you like it? How long does it last? All those things can play a part. The key is to not get caught up in that moment. Like for me, it was my birthday. My sister took me to the mall and we were trying on perfumes. That was our day. And I tried on this perfume and that perfume. I had about 5 or 6 perfumes sprayed in different areas of my body. I'm surprised I didn't use my legs too. It was getting a little crazy. But I'm sniffing and there was this one that was on this wrist and I almost bought it and I'm like, it smells like money. And then I'd bring it over to my sister and she's like, yeah, that smells so rich. And it was, for whatever reason, reminding us of Four Seasons Hotel when we were kids. So and we're like, oh, this smells so fantastic. Well, I took a sample, thankfully, rather than buying the bottle, and I got it home, and after my like crazy mood, and I was just normal again and not so hyped up, I did not like that perfume at all. It just made me feel sick. So do not just buy it on a whim unless you want to return it if you don't like it. Make sure you can return it if you're buying it on a whim. And you're making a decision to purchase, things that you need to think about are loving the scent. You know, make sure that you love that scent. You know, when I go buy my perfumes, I'll open them and I'll sniff them. It just brings me joy. So I do it quite often, and I'll just put another one down, pick another one up. I love it. It's like smelling the roses. So make sure you love the perfume. Don't settle with, it's okay. You want to get something that you love, something that elevates your mood, something that brings you joy. The other thing that you want to consider is, you know, if you have significant others or family members, you know, for me anyway, I want to make sure that they don't hate it. They don't have to love it. I'm the one that's smelling it the most. So they don't have to love it, but they do have to not hate it. The other thing is, don't get caught up in the hype. Just because someone loves a fragrance doesn't mean you have to love it, even if it's one of the most popular scents that's out there. Each person is different, and scent is very subjective. Our sense of smell is very strong, it's very subjective, it's very experiential. So never settle for something that just everybody else thinks is cool. And even if it's a scent that others like on you, if you don't love it, don't buy it. Now, going back to signature scent and multi-scent, which person are you? A lot of times, even signature scent people are going to have that main scent, but they might have a fragrance they like using in the evenings here and there, or, you know, they might have a few on the go. Multi-scents are, you know, different whims, different moods, different whatever. That's what they're going to choose that day. So, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Above all, make it fun for yourself. Everything when it comes to self-expression, whether it be from, you know, clothes to hair to makeup to perfume to jewelry, all of that kind of stuff gets to be a way to have fun. It's an exploration. It's something that can bring you joy. So make sure that you enjoy the process. Cut yourself some slack. Give yourself time to find that scent, and I know that you'll find the perfect one for you, or perfect ones for you, if you're like me. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.